So I've heard players say, including myself, I feared Mike. I've heard players in your generation say they feared Kobe. I've never really heard any players say they fear LeBron.
And then like the generation, they talk so much shit about the game today. And it make you go back and watch the game back then. And it makes you not even want to appreciate it no more like I did when I was a kid. Like it was like.
These are the moments when Shaquille O'Neal straight up questioned LeBron James's fear factor and his so-called claim to greatness. For years, Shaq has been dropping raw truth that modern sports media just won't touch. And what he said in March 2024 shook the entire basketball world to its core.
So I've heard players say, including myself, I feared Mike. I've heard players in your generation say they feared Kobe. I've never really heard any players say they fear LeBron.
Now, this isn't about hating on LeBron, let's get that clear. This is about understanding why one of the most dominant centers in NBA history, someone who actually shared the floor with LeBron, still refuses to hand him the crown. When you hear Shaq's words about fear, killer instinct, and what separates LeBron from the legends before him, you'll see exactly why fans who grew up watching Jordan and Kobe dominate never bought into the hype. In March 2024, Shaq made a statement on the Big Podcast that exploded across social media. His guest, none other than his former teammate Mario Chalmers. And right there, Shaq said something that cut deep into the heart of the GOAT debate. Words that can't be taken back no matter how much LeBron's camp tries to spin it. And when people pressed him about it,
I didn't think players really feared LeBron like they did Jordan.
I never heard anybody say it.
And it's not that you shouldn't fear Bron. I just think at the end of the day, Bron has been through so much that he wanted to be liked. So it was kind of like,
he is a nice guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna do things
nice.
now where like people like me, people respect me.
Shaq didn't flinch. He doubled down without a hint of hesitation. LeBron tried to clap back on Instagram, bragging that his streak of consecutive double-digit scoring games was longer than Shaq's entire career. Cute stat, but totally missing the point. Because here's the brutal truth: nobody fears him. And that matters. It matters more than almost any record or stat sheet when you're talking about who the greatest truly is. Mario Chalmers, who won 2 rings next to LeBron in Miami, broke it down perfectly. He said players just don't fear LeBron like they feared Jordan or Kobe. His reasoning?
What about Kobe and LeBron in their prime?
Well, I'll play with both of them, and you know, Kobe has that killer instinct, and I'll probably have to go with Kobe.
LeBron wanted to be liked, which sounds nice on paper. Until you realize Jordan and Kobe didn't care about being liked, they wanted to destroy you. They didn't care if you respected them off the court, didn't care if you thought they were too harsh. They just wanted you wide awake the night before the game, dreading having to guard them. That's fear. And that's something LeBron never inspired, no matter how many highlights he's got. But here's where it gets even heavier. The criticism didn't start in 2024.
If you're making $30 million, 80 games is good enough.
All right, 2 more things real quick. Go ahead.
So you want me to pay you $30 million to play 30 games? Hell no.
Right.
No. 80 games is fine, because I did it, Jerry West did it, Kareem did it, Magic did it, Bird did it, Bernard King, like all the great legends before us did it.
Oh no, it goes way back. In his 2011 memoir, Shaq Uncut My Story, he revealed the truth about his short stint with LeBron in Cleveland during the 2009 to 2010 season. And it's damning. The kind of stuff NBA PR departments would rather you forget. Shaq wrote that their coach, Mike Brown, treated LeBron like royalty, walking on eggshells around him. Shaq said, "Our coach, Mike Brown, was a nice guy, but he had to live on edge because nobody was supposed to be confrontational with LeBron." That kind of setup kills any shot at building a real championship culture. Shaq went into detail about a specific film session that said it all. LeBron missed a defensive rotation after a shot.
Couldn't believe that an NBA player could make $1 million. And now these guys are so lucky and blessed, and they can't play basketball 3 or 4 days a week. And I know they hide behind all the analytical bullshit from their agents and people like that. What they're really trying to do is extend their career. The way the money's been and going, depending on who you are, you're going to be able to make another $50, $70, $100 million and probably more going forward if you can extend your career 2 or 3 years.
And Coach Mike Brown didn't say a single word, but the very next clip, when Mo Williams made the same mistake, Suddenly, Brown was barking at him like his life depended on it. Shaq remembered it vividly. Brown snapped, "Yo, Mo, we can't have that." But when it came to LeBron, silence. Delonte West even called out the hypocrisy, saying, "Everyone has to be accountable for what they do, not just some of us." But of course, nothing changed because LeBron was untouchable. Can you imagine Phil Jackson letting Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant get away with skipping defense like that? Not a chance. He would have benched them right then and there, no hesitation. But when it came to LeBron, the rules were different, and Shaq made it clear they always have been. In his writing about the 2010 Eastern Conference Finals and the 2011 NBA Finals, Shaq didn't hold back. He questioned LeBron's performance in those defining moments, and when it comes from someone who was actually in those locker rooms, it hits different. "There's no question," Shaq said.
And he made his position crystal clear without any ambiguity.
I think the greatest player is Michael Jordan. LeBron is about to do something that hasn't been done in a long time, but for me, it's always Dr. J and Michael Jordan, Magic and those guys.
In Game 5, LeBron was kind of out of it. I always believed he could turn it on at any moment, but for some reason he didn't. Not against the Celtics in 2010. Not against the Mavericks in 2011. It just wasn't there. And that's the thing. Being a great passer is fine, but when you're supposed to be the guy, you take control. Instead, Shaq recalled watching LeBron against Dallas, seeing him get the ball wide open and then pass it off to Mario Chalmers. Shaq couldn't believe it. "Makes no sense," he said flatly.
Curry at the 1.
Curry, okay.
Kobe at the 2. Jordan at the 3. Tim Duncan at the 4.
Okay.
And me at the 5.
That wasn't coming from a hater, but from someone who played next to both LeBron and Kobe, someone who knows exactly what a real championship mindset looks like up close. When Shaq was asked about coaching both players, he made it crystal clear. "I'm not sure if Kobe is going to listen to Mike Brown," he wrote. "LeBron never really did. Here's what we do know. Kobe will definitely be in charge." And that right there, that wasn't praise. It was a warning. Shaq was saying Kobe had that alpha mentality, that do-or-die drive, something LeBron just never had and probably never will.
But our game is supposed to be more structured. Well, this game we're watching now, I don't know what we're watching now.
They say, yeah, I said the 90s and 80s was way harder than this. You guys, this is like kind of soft.
Like right now, you get a flagrant foul, you get fined, suspended. Like guys ain't even fouling hard no more. Back before I played, it was crazy, but when I played, it was crazy. But even before, like the 80s going to 90s, it was probably more physical then. But
fast forward to June 2015, Shaq appears on the Dan Patrick Show. The host asks him straight up, Kobe or LeBron in their prime? Shaq didn't even blink. His answer was immediate, sharp, and final. No hesitation, no fence sitting. Kobe. Every time. Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to one thing, killer instinct. That phrase keeps surfacing for a reason.
People get mad. It's just a product of what I see. I've seen what greatness is. Been there, played with it. I don't see that all the time over here.
It's what made Jordan take the last shot no matter what. It's what made Kobe drop 81 because he refused to lose. That's the difference between good and truly great. Later that same year, during an ESPN event in Hong Kong, Shaq summed it up perfectly. Young LeBron was more like Magic Johnson. A brilliant playmaker, yes, but not the ruthless closer that legends are built on. Shaq broke it down perfectly. He said, LeBron was sort of like Magic with Jordan's abilities. He liked to pass, he liked to get everyone involved. But Mike was Mike. He was just special, like no one else. That one comparison said it all. Shaq didn't line LeBron up next to Jordan, he lined him up next to Magic. And that speaks volumes. Magic Johnson is one of the greatest to ever do it, top 5 all-time, no question, but he's not in that untouchable GOAT conversation with Jordan. And Shaq made it clear, neither is LeBron.
Never happens. You call it hate if you want. But even with the word hate, like these kids that like to throw that word around. If you ain't great and I'm great, how the can I hate on you? That don't make no sense.
Then came June 2021, when LeBron publicly complained about the NBA's tight schedule after several players got hurt. And man, Shaq wasn't having any of it. He immediately shut down the excuses and laid out the difference between eras in the simplest terms possible. Back in the day, Jordan played all 82 games without a single complaint. Shaq did the same and dominated. No load management, no endless whining about fatigue or scheduling. They showed up, took their hits, and let their game do the talking. No excuses, no posts, just performance. Fast forward to October 2022, Shaq sits down with Logan Paul on the Impulsive podcast, and this time he made his stance crystal clear. He dropped his official top 10 all-time list, and when you see where LeBron landed, it says everything. And remember, this isn't coming from some random analyst or social media loudmouth.
If you do not say he's the greatest of all time, you're committing treason.
This is Shaquille O'Neal, a 15-time All-Star, 4-time NBA champion, 3-time Finals MVP, and one of the most dominant forces the league has ever seen. The man played with both LeBron and Kobe. He's seen greatness up close, and after all that, his verdict couldn't be clearer. Jordan is the GOAT, Kobe's number 2, and LeBron, he's number 3, period. What makes it sting even more is that Shaq has repeatedly left LeBron off his all-time starting 5 lists. He doesn't even make the cut. That's not petty, that's perspective. It says more about where LeBron truly stands than any highlight reel ever could. On the big podcast, Shaq went even deeper. He called out the myth behind LeBron's so-called longevity stats, explaining how modern fans completely ignore context.
When I look at LeBron, he's not what Michael was as a player. He's not even what Kobe Bryant was as a player. When you talk about trying to compare Michael's instinct, his ability to take over games, his ability to want to have that last shot.
And demoralize you.
Yes.
And scare the living hell out of you.
LeBron doesn't have that gene.
When asked if today's NBA is softer or less physical, Shaq didn't hesitate. He shut that question down instantly. He said it plain. LeBron's numbers are incredible, but he put them up in an era where defense is practically outlawed. No hand checking, no body contact, and every tough foul gets called flagrant. Jordan racked up his stats while getting crushed by the bad boy Pistons. Kobe dominated when defense was brutal and physical. Meanwhile, LeBron gets a whistle if someone breathes on him too hard. And when people tried to accuse Shaq of hating, he didn't back down for a second. He looked straight into the camera and fired back, making it clear he wasn't hating. He was telling the truth the media's too scared to say. That's not hate, it's standards. It's a man who went toe-to-toe with legends, refusing to lower the bar just because today's generation has better PR teams and flashy social media campaigns. Shaq isn't some lone critic screaming into the void, and that's what makes this so powerful. He's part of a whole chorus of basketball icons who've said the same thing for years. Charles Barkley said it on the Bill Simmons podcast, breaking it down bluntly about LeBron and his inner circle. Scottie Pippen went off on First Take back in February 2019, making it crystal clear where he stood. Kevin Garnett on a podcast with Bill Simmons and Adam Sandler in 2019 said it too, talking about how the Celtics exposed LeBron's Cavaliers and made them crumble under real pressure.
Nothing? Man, listen, let me say something to you. The C's, we didn't give a fuck about LeBron. We didn't fear LeBron, and we didn't think that he can beat all 5 of us. And that's how it felt. He was trying to consolidate because he didn't want the pressure on him.
And Magic Johnson himself, at InvestFest 2025, when asked about Jordan versus LeBron, didn't hesitate for a second before making his position known. This isn't one bitter veteran holding a grudge. It's the greatest of the greats all echoing the same message. LeBron is amazing, yes, but he's not Michael. He's not Kobe. He doesn't have that thing they had. And deep down, everyone in the game knows it. To be fair though, Shaq's not blind to LeBron's greatness. He's defended him plenty of times too. On Drink Champs in October 2022, Shaq clapped back at the no killer instinct talk saying, "If you don't have killer instinct, how you get 38,000 points?" And on the big podcast with JJ Redick in 2024, Shaq even called LeBron the greatest young leader I've ever seen, admitting, "When I got to Cleveland with Bron already had that shit under control. I was super impressed." So no, this isn't about tearing LeBron down. It's about seeing the full picture.
Don't get it twisted. I love LeBron, but No.
Shaq's always been honest about what LeBron is and what he isn't. He's an all-time great, top 3 no doubt, but he's not the greatest of all time. There's a difference. LeBron doesn't have the fear factor that made opponents lose sleep before facing Jordan. He doesn't have that ruthless killer instinct that made Kobe drop 81 just to prove a point. Instead of crushing the competition, LeBron helped form the super team era. He dominates in an NBA that's softer, friendlier, and more stat-inflated than the war zone that Jordan and Kobe played in. When you really put them side by side, mentality, clutch moments, psychological warfare, physical dominance, LeBron just doesn't measure up. Not to Jordan, not to Kobe. And here's the key difference. Shaq's words carry weight. This isn't some sports analyst yelling on ESPN or a fanboy defending his favorite player online. This is a 4-time NBA champion, a 3-time Finals MVP, a 15-time All-Star, someone who lived it. Shaq didn't just watch greatness, he competed against it. He battled through one of the most physical, ruthless eras in basketball history. An era where every rebound was a war and every drive meant you were taking hits from giants. He played with both LeBron and Kobe, giving him a unique first-hand perspective no journalist will ever have. And after decades of dominance, analysis, and reflection, his verdict stands tall and unshaken. Jordan is the GOAT. Kobe is number 2. LeBron is number 3. That's not disrespect. That's not hate. That's truth from a man who knows exactly what greatness looks like, because he stood shoulder to shoulder with it. The dark truth Shaq exposed isn't that LeBron's a fraud or overrated. It's that for all the stats, all the rings, all the PR spin, and all the social media love, he's still missing that one rare, unteachable thing, the aura of fear and dominance that separates legends from immortals. And that's the truth Shaq's been hinting at for years. The polished story, the perfect PR machine, the stats that look good on paper. None of it replaces what made Jordan and Kobe truly legendary. LeBron doesn't have that raw fear factor that froze opponents before tip-off. He doesn't have that relentless killer instinct that made legends demand the ball when everything was on the line. LeBron wanted to be liked, not feared, and sure, that sounds admirable, but in the world of basketball greatness, being feared means everything. That's the difference between icons and immortals. That's why no matter how many records he breaks, how many seasons he lasts, or how many headlines the media writes trying to crown him, he'll never sit on that throne. Shaq's been saying it loud and clear for over a decade. It's not hate, it's honesty. Maybe now it's time people finally listen. If this breakdown opened your eyes, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next truth bomb.